Hey, did you know that most traders are suffering the pain of having losing trades and can't explain why? Hey, if this is you, a major reason why is because your strategy and your mindset is out of balance. Hey, this is Dennis Wilburn, the AutoPilot Trader, and I've got great news. In this session of Trade Your Way to Freedom, our special guest, Mike Lamothe, a top trading mindset coach in the U.S., is going to be sharing some specific tactics on how you can get back in balanced and get yourself back on the path to becoming a more consistently successful trader. You're going to want to watch this one to the end, guys, because some of the tips at the end of the video are amazing, totally brilliant. So let's get into today's session right now. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Trade Your Way to Freedom. This is Dennis Wilburn, the AutoPilot Trader. I am so excited about today, but I'm going to start today first by asking a question. One, I'll let you, did you know that target fixation and loss of situational awareness is one of the major reasons, two of the major reasons why our military pilots fly into the ground when they're on a mission? And you're still going, Dennis, what the heck does got to have to do with trading? Well, let me tell you, those two issues is what happens when the mission strategy and mindset are out of balance. And unfortunately, we traders sometimes get into a similar situation where we lose our balance between our strategy, which could be a good one, and we are either unaware or we have a lack of understanding of our mindset, and they get out of balance, and we wind up trading a good system, but taking loss after loss after loss after loss. I don't know about you, but I've been there. Our guest for today, which we're going to be jumping over here shortly, is my good friend, Mike Lamothe. I just absolutely love this guy. He is one of the best trading mindset coaches out there in the U.S. today. And I'm going to show you how to contact Mike a little bit later. But again, I am so excited that Mike is here. Mike, say hi, and we'll show everybody your face here shortly.
Hey, everybody. I really appreciate that introduction. Thank you, Dennis.
Okay.
Look forward to talking to everybody.
And so, hey, our overview for the session today is intro, goals, and basically our index review, special guest, top mindset coach, Mike Lamothe, and then the things that we also usually cover on Friday, the trade of the week, trading tip, and stocks on the radar. I will not do today. I will do a bonus video and put it out there. And if you are joining us over on the YouTube channel, please identify yourself. And if you have any comments, just drop them into the chat box there. Same thing. If you have any comments, folks, please use the chat box and make it accessible to everyone. Remember that we have our disclaimer is still in place. And I'm charting out how we did last year compared to the S&P. And here's what the AutoPilot Trading did last year. The pink line on the bottom is the S&P. I'm really pleased that we had a nice, up and to the right P&L for last year. And here's where we're sitting as of right now. Last week, we were up about 5.61. This is one of the best starts to a year that I've ever had. I'm very pleased with that. And we're continuing to move up 3 weeks into the year. And both in my account that I trade for, AutoPilot Trading, and my personal account, it's moving in the right direction, moving very rapidly. But I'm not going to get the big head and think that, hey, I have all the answers. I'm going to trade my system the way I have been taught to do. With that said, let's take a real quick look at the S&P and see what the indexes are telling us. And I want to highlight to everybody that, one, we are still in this downtrend. Touches on the downtrend several times. The potential is we have a lower high right here. If we bust out through this downtrend line and above that line there, we'll be back up into a longer term uptrend. So pay attention to that. Looking kind of positive on the daily chart over here, as you see, momentum looks like it may be trying to shift around. And again, we came down, hit the moving average, ball of spaghetti. That's the 8, the 20, and the 34-day moving averages clustered there. And it looks like it's bouncing back up. I'm expecting going forward into the next few weeks up until the 1st of February when the Fed comes out and meets for the first time this year, that we may go into just kind of a stalling type of action on the indexes and not get a lot of traction one way or the other. We've got several things that are providing a headwind against the market. We've got pre-Fed, and then we had the debt ceiling issues that came up yesterday. We'll see how that plays out over the next few weeks as we move through the rest of the year. So, but right now the indexes are showing a really good start to 2023, and I know that some of you are having really great starts to 2003 also. So, quick and dirty. That's my 2 cents for this week. Now, I'm really excited because the next thing is I'm going to say to you is don't let your trading in 2023 crash and burn. Do not lose situational awareness. Mike has basically helped traders who have suffered from, a similar situation of losing their situational awareness, getting target fixation, jumping from one holy grail to the next, and they forget that the primarily thing is the holy grail of trading rest within ourselves. So he's going to provide several tactics to help us with our mindset so that we don't become a smoking hole in the ground with our trading. I mean, does that sound like a good deal or not? Mike is just absolutely phenomenal. Mike is a highly successful trading coach who has blended a unique experience and a diverse set of practical strategies. And he's a very sought after speaker. I'm very proud that, pleased that Mike is on with us on Trade Your Way to Freedom this week. And I have identified down here where you can get a hold of, find Mike's Trading Mind Decoder. I'll let him talk a little bit more about that. The other thing that I just absolutely love about what Mike is doing and what Mike has done is he's gone through the hard knocks, just like the rest of us traders, lack of success for many, many years, and then the light bulb turned on. And so, Mike, with that, I'll ask you to introduce yourself. And again, well, there he is, the one and only Mike Lamothe.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope that I could live up to that introduction. That was fantastic. Yeah. So, in brief, I'm somebody that started trading about 25 years ago. The first 10 years, I would say, were a nightmare, at the very least. I had no clue what I was doing and made pretty much every mistake that a person can make when they're starting out, from having the wrong type of expectations, from trusting the wrong people, to then completely flipping and not trusting anybody and trying to do everything on my own. And then eventually what happened at around the 10-year mark was finding people, systems, styles that started to fit me. And then I started to become coachable. And I started to take advice, and it's amazing what happens when you become coachable and you start listening to people that actually have walked the path and are able to help you. Well, within the span of a year, I went from boom and buster, mostly buster, but every once in a while a boom, to starting to gain consistent profits and consistent success. That happened when I found William O'Neill's book. I'm sure that you've heard all about how to make money in stocks. And I found the New York City, that's where I'm from, New York City. I found the New York City Investors Business Daily Meetup group. Within a year of studying with that group and getting active feedback and being in an environment with other like-minded people, bouncing ideas off, seeing what works for certain personality types, what doesn't, understanding that you could take a methodology and customize it down to something that will work for you. That's what allowed me to still have a full-time job, take what was working for the full-time guys, make it into an efficient process for me, and then be able to trade well. And before the age of 40, I was able to leave the day job behind and come and do this and talk to all of you guys. So where should we go from here, Dan?
Well, one of the things is jumping. I talked a little bit about in the intro about this aspect of losing situational awareness or the lack of balance between a strategy and your mindset, and how do you work on your mindset. And one of the things is, when your strategy, and if you can define what you consider a strategy is, but when your strategy and your mindset are out of balance, what happens? What are the kind of things that a trader is going to be experiencing and feeling when that happens?
Sure. So there's a few things to unpack in there. There's the situational awareness, where we can be aware of what's happening in the market or what's happening within the system itself. And then there's the other part of it, which sometimes we can forget about, is the executioner part of it. And for most of us in this room, that's us. So we want to have an awareness of the system, of the market. Well, what types of things affect our system? So there's that level of awareness there, and that's where most people tend to focus. And I would even go so far as to say that most people focus on analysis when it comes to trading. Like if you Google trading, you'll find plenty of things on teaching analysis, and that's one of the core skills that are needed for trading. There's several. In fact, I just wrote a book about the 8 essential skills needed for trading. That book is being published. It will be out in April. But one of the other part of the equation that we were talking about, right? So you have the market and the system. Then you have the executioner part. So what's going on with us? What's going on in our lives? It's possible that we could go off tilt for something happens for a day. Like let's say something happens on the job, something happens with your family, and it's a one-time event, right? Like let's say a family member is sick, somebody passes away. These are things that could knock us off of our game, but they're temporary, where we could put trading on hold for a week, a couple of weeks, however long it takes to get back on track. Then there are other things which tend to be more permanent. Like let's say that you have a birth of a child.
Yeah.
This is something that actually happened to me, and I learned this lesson the hard way. So to give you a brief story, my daughter, Lily, she's 7 years old. One of the best things that's ever happened to me is having her. Also, though, when she was born and my equity curve was on a nice and steady track, what I noticed soon after she was born was that the boom and bust cycle started again, and I was trying to figure out why. And to go back to our equation, I looked at the system first and thought that, it must be something wrong with the system. Like, what am I doing here? And it took me 6 months, 6 months to finally realize that it's not the system, it's me. And it's, this new environment. And it wasn't just like an aha thing. It came with a lot of stress. It came with being about 50 pounds overweight. It came with starting to get sick and lethargic and all these other things that like life started to spiral out of control at that point. And it was one of those breaking points where it's just like, look, I need to do a complete 180. Otherwise, things are really going to go completely off the rails here with being a new father, the job that I still had at the time. I didn't leave the day job yet. I would leave it maybe about 2 years later. My own trading, plus I had started to run a part-time a trading business as well. So I had all these things going on, and I needed to figure out, well, what can I do to do a complete 180 or else I'm going to be in really bad shape. So what I ended up doing was I ended up getting help, right? To kind of go back to what we had started the conversation with, our environment matters, having people that have been where we want to go matter, and getting guidance. Our environment is more than the four walls that are around us. It's also the four walls in our head, and it's also the people around us too. And those are going to be core influences. So I ended up getting a life coach, and I ended up getting a business partner that would be able to help me well with some parts of the business. Also was able to help my trading as well, just like how you have Dennis here, and he's able to give you ideas, and you're able to follow along in this way. That's what I had back then. I found somebody that I was able to jive with. Their methodology, and we were trading very similarly, so I was able to follow along with that kind of research, and that took a load off of me. And because I already had other skills in place, was able to just simply follow along with that and understand like everything else that comes along with it, understanding research, analysis, risk management, all these other things. Everything kind of fits together. That's kind of how trading and skill development and things go. They're all interwoven.
So, hey, Mike, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me interject here. Is just one of the questions I have, and you mentioned a couple of times, is you have to make a 180 from whatever you were doing, which means you will make a 180 and go the other way.
Yes.
Do you think with many traders, they think they're making a 180, but they're actually making a 360? Think about that for a second.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think that's possible. I would want to know, I would need to speak to the person and find out, like, well, what are they doing? But to kind of answer, do I think that people do that? Sure. I think that people do that when a lot of people are probably doing that right now, when you are in a market environment and the system or the edge that you have isn't working. Oh, well, this isn't working now. Let me go try something else. Right? And you end up trying something completely different, and then maybe that starts working for a time, and then that stops working too. Why? Well, the market conditions change. So now what you just jumped into stops working, and then, let me try to find something else that works. And then that's how you get the person that's system hopping from here to there to there. And what ends up happening is that you have an entire field of half dug holes.
Right.
They just stuck with one and learned that no system is going to work 100% of the time. What we need to learn is how do we determine what season we're in, and when is it our edges springtime? When is it's summer? When is it time to harvest? When is it the winter where we should not be very active or trading this particular style?
Somebody's asked a question: is having experienced the effect life can have on trading, what systems or methods do you use to prevent your letting life affect your trading? And I want to let me comment on this first, and I'll throw it back to you. Is look to high-level sports figures who perform at a high level. Whenever they have something happen in their, Tom Brady comes to mind, actually. Whenever they have something come into their life, such as divorce, such as illness, such as children, as Mike was saying earlier, there typically is a drop in the level of their performance. And it can be similar for our trading. And so we have to be very careful and kind of check and take your own temperature. And, first I take my temperature every week, but in the morning, especially, I say, where am I at? Am I ready to, as Mark Douglas says, am I ready to give myself money today or this week? So again, back to Bobby's question is, what other things are you doing in which to prevent getting stuck in that do loop?
Well, let's stick with the sports analogies for a moment. So if you're a systems trader and you have a set of rules that's going to be guiding your trading, well, rather than thinking of yourself as the player, you could think of yourself as the referee. So the players then are all the trades out there. Right, you have all these trades, all these potential stock ideas coming into. They want to be in the stadium, right? They're all trying to get into the Olympics,
right?
And your first job as the referee, or in this case, the admissions person, is saying, well, which one of you qualify to even get into the arena? Right. And so you're going to end up eliminating 95% of them right off the bat. Then you have your 5% or less of trades out there that make it into the arena, that are your setups that you're going to trade, and you have your set of rules. Great. So now your job isn't to trade them, but they are going to be following your rules. So your job then is, as the referee, is to just see, does this follow the rules or does it not follow the rules? And so if it does not follow the rules, then you kick it out. If it does follow the rules, then it gets to continue to be in the game. I've found that in that way, it takes the ego out. It helps to take the ego out. And the more that I've been able to set up parameters for different parts of the game, the easier it's been to just take a look at the chart and say, or just say, you know what, this is where this trade is at. It gets to stay in. This is where that trade is now. Oh, it violated this, and this. See you later.
Right.
And that's it. And it's not doing any of that on a whim. It's doing that based off of our back testing, off of our results, off of our journaling and our post-analysis, looking at statistics like that. All of those things are important. All of those are part of the skills. We mentioned skills earlier as well. Once we start developing the different skills required for trading, things like journaling, things like post-analysis, things like testing, where we're able to go in and see, okay, well, what's working, what's not? Well, what's my objective? If I made X, Y, and Z tweaks, what would that affect the results?
Right.
And is that going to guide me closer to my goals? Great. Implement those things. Then we end up having a lot more confidence.
Yes.
Because well, we've developed these skills, we put in the work, and it's just like, I know that if I stick with this, then this is the likely result because I've tested this 100 times. Right. And it's not just anecdotally anymore. It's not just something that I read in a book. You've actually put in the work.
Right. And so, I like what you're saying there about you've tested your system, but you've also tested yourself in using the system, so that a trader eventually pulls together a trust of both the system and a trust of themselves. And then a second and a third trust, I think, a trust that in themselves that they will operate within their system, a proven system. And when that happens, I think a trader can look at a chart, Mike, and basically it becomes almost binary. Either one, I have an action to take, or two, I don't. And you let your condition. I let my conditional orders take care of it. I mean, literally, once I put my conditional orders in, the old naval pilot in me, I want to be launching my weapon and making it fire and forget, because it keeps me out of danger, if you will.
Right.
So I use my conditional orders the same way. I got a real quick question here. When you have kids or a foreseeable life situation, but are already in some positions, a swing position for 6 months or so, what do you do? Let me get first jab at this, Noel. I think that your strategy and your system should take care of a situation like that, in that your rules, when applied, properly, what are your rules to get out? I have basically 3 rules to get in, and I have 4 rules to get out. That's how simple my system is. And so on a situation like that, if you don't have rules and you're sitting there going, what should I do? And which kind of tells me you probably don't have rules. Develop your rules. And there's a lot of them out there. Are you profitable already? How much of your profit are you willing to give away? And then you can start drawing some lines in the sand. What do you think, Mike?
Right. Yeah. Then when we were talking about rules, when I first started out, I adopted all of Bill's rules that he laid out in how to make money in stocks, and I was like, I'm going to follow this like a cookbook. What I came to realize about myself was that I didn't like sitting through bases. Right? So Bill O'Neill was a home run hitter. He was the type of guy that he would find the leading stock in the market, and he would write it up for 200, 500%. And part of that means that you're going to have to hold through earnings. Part of that means that you're going to have to hold through a base. So like if a stock forms a cup with handle, that could be 30% consolidation. And you're sitting there for 7 weeks or so while other stocks are running up. And I learned very quickly that, I'm not exactly comfortable giving all that stuff back to see if this is going to pan out or not, because what would often happen is that I'd let it consolidate and then I'd get stopped out, and then I'd be frustrated by that. What can we do? We could come up with different types of rules, just like how Dennis was saying, to help us exit trades. And we can also think about, well, what am I going to be able to execute? And I think that this comes back to part of the point that you were making about, well, now I have kids, and now I'm only able to execute during certain times. Right? So we could start to bake all that into the system. Every system that we trade needs to match 3 things. If any one of these 3 things are missing, we're going to run into trouble. So the 3 things are, every system must be aligned with our beliefs, our goals, and our ability to execute. Any one of those 3 missing, and we're going to have major problems. So, well, what does some of that mean? There's things to unpack in there as well. Very briefly, beliefs. Well, we have beliefs about trading, about money, about all the different things that are in your system. We could do an entire, and I've got an entire book and coursework on all that. I don't think that we'll have time to go too deep here, but Dennis, I'll let you be the timekeeper for how deep we could go on a certain thing. But
okay, Mike, as far as time goes, we've got 15 minutes.
Okay,
from here.
Great. For goals, this is very, very important about goals too, because with goals, what often happens is that people will think about their trading goals, or that they want to hit a certain percentage return. Other goals for your trading might be, well, how much time do you want to spend doing this? How much time per day do you want to be actively trading? Well, what times do you want to be looking at that? Those are closely related to what are you able to execute. At one point when I was still at the day job, my knowledge of trading started to far surpass my ability to execute, and I found that to be very frustrating, because I would see trades and I would want to execute on those trades, but what I found was that when I would execute on those trades and I wouldn't be able to give the trade what it needed later on to be able to manage it effectively, those are the types of things that would blow up.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why, too, we need to have a clearly defined system or the way that we're going to operate. So that way, well, we could just execute that much better, that much smoother, and understand, too, that we might be the constraint of the system, right? Like it has to be what we're able to execute. If we're not able to give the trade what it needs, then the trade could blow up on us.
Yeah, I love that concept of your ability to execute or to give the trade what it needs. And I think that this tension between having a great strategy and then also developing the strength or the steel-like abilities of your mindset can sometimes be in conflict with each other, especially when they run into our beliefs. Because if we're carrying two beliefs, one is I can make a lot of money in the market. I really believe I can do that. But let's say you have a secondary belief, Mike, that says, well, yeah, but my mom and dad told me I shouldn't get too successful because I shouldn't become like those rich people.
That's a good one. Yeah, I had all those.
One of those beliefs will be stronger, and regardless of what your goals or your ability to execute are, that strongest belief is going to win out. And I know that whacked me for many years because my mom and dad did tell me both. The strongest belief, though, that I had was don't get like don't do too well and get like those rich people. And since I've deflated that belief, and what's happened is, guess what? My P&L is taking off like a rocket ship, and so I'm loving it.
That's great, and
you're there, buddy.
And you're well ahead of the curve too, because most of us out there, and I'll put myself in that bucket, especially for those first 10 years. And this part started to come much later on too. Was having awareness of our beliefs. Right? Like most of us are just operating on autopilot most of the time without understanding, what's the programming that we got as kids?
And so
what do we have as our beliefs about money? What do we have of our beliefs about trading? All these things.
And so there's no confusion, Mike. The autopilot you were talking about is not the autopilot trading service. No. Okay, just
Yeah, no,
we want you to be an autopilot, but a good autopilot with good beliefs. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, so what's important? We will default to our habits, right? Like that. That's one of the ways that the brain helps to conserve energy. So when you are on autopilot, you want to have full faith that the autopilot is guiding you to where you want to go.
Right.
That's what your autopilot trading system will do. And that's why you explain what you do, how you do what you do, and people are able to fully understand all that. So that's a good autopilot. What a not good autopilot is where we keep on getting results that we don't want and don't realize that it's because of faulty programming or old programming, rather. That an old programming that was once serving us 10 years ago, 20 years ago, perhaps when we were kids. Right. But we haven't gone back and thought about any of that. It's just running in the background. So a belief that, trading is hard or money's hard to come by or any the type of limiting belief. I'm sure that we could fill up the chat here with loads of limiting beliefs. But if the first thing that we need to do is gain an awareness of, well, what are my beliefs about trading? What are my beliefs about money? What are my beliefs about myself? Right. If I don't believe that I'm able to do X, Y, or Z, then belief is a huge part of it. And we need to question those. We need to question all of our beliefs. And it's not that a belief is necessarily good or bad. The way that I view beliefs is it leading me to the desired result or is it not?
Right on.
And if it's not, am I able to let go of this belief? Is this belief serving me in some other way? If this belief is not serving me presently in some other way, can I let it go? And if not, why?
Right on.
Because sometimes a belief might be tied to something else. Well, I got this belief from a parent, and if I let go of this belief, then I'm being disrespectful. Or maybe I learned this thing from somebody's course years ago, and I spent $10,000 on this. And then they're looking at it like a sunk cost. It's like digging into all of those kinds of things that we could start to understand our belief systems, our internal programming, and is it leading us to where we want to go?
Yeah, because one of the things I've found is that when I speak for myself, when I have a belief, whether or not it is taking me to my desired outcome, it will take me to an outcome. Now, it may not be my desired outcome, because my beliefs, when they are challenged, they come up to fight and say, wait a second, I've had that belief for a long, long, long time. You're not going to get rid of me that easily. And they will literally just, want to slap you upside the head. And I think that's one of the reasons why oftentimes traders will oftentimes jump from, you called them strategy or system jumpers from jump, to the Holy Grail to Holy Grail to Holy Grail, is because they haven't come around to the pain being significant enough for them to challenge what they believe, because what they think they believe, what they think they believe is their truth, unfortunately, regardless of where the path that it's taken them on. Let's see, any questions? Yeah, and folks, if you want to just drop in,
I actually don't think that they need to wait until that point.
What's that?
Something getting so painful that it forces a change, right? Hopefully the people are able to make changes and get to the point of awareness before they're at that breaking point,
right?
My journey went a lot of the painful route. Hopefully we're able to prevent that painful route for most people. So a common way to think, or that most people think about mindset, is meditation and calmness, things like that. All that stuff is wonderful, and that's a part of mindset as well.
Right.
What it helps with is understanding that we may have certain beliefs, but we are not our beliefs. I would say that we are the awareness of our beliefs, or of certain beliefs. So what beliefs do we have? Are beliefs truly ours? Like, do we own the belief? Did it come from us?
Yep.
Well, we start the lives as completely blank slates. So all of the beliefs that we have came from somewhere outside of us.
Yeah. That's funny that you say that, that our beliefs are not us. But it takes it takes developing a certain level of awareness to be able to challenge our beliefs, because, as you said, our beliefs can be so ingrained that they actually become subconscious beliefs. And the subconscious beliefs then will manipulate us into doing whatever that belief thinks should happen. And I think that's one of the landmines that oftentimes traders get into, because believe it or not, Mike, I flew Navy jets off of aircraft carriers at night, one of the scariest and toughest jobs ever in the whole world. But mindset and emotional wise, trading is harder than that. So those who come in thinking that, I'm going to be able to lick this trading thing in just, 2 months, they are setting themselves up to, as I said, crash and burn. A couple of questions. How did I get rid of the belief regarding, don't be like the rich people. And Anil, that's a great question. I had to deflate that belief because I know I still have the belief. The beliefs never die from my perspective, but you can de-energize that belief and energize the belief that one, well, that was a lie. That was a lie. Don't be like them was something that I reject or accepting that as a true statement. It is not a true statement to me anymore. And my true statement is, I'm designed to achieve my purpose in life and my trading purpose and my height, whatever height I can achieve, and basically, which puts me then on an upward trajectory rather than a downward trajectory in my trading with regarding to that particular belief. And so I want to choose the beliefs that's going to put me on an upward trajectory. And when I have a belief and become aware of it, I ask myself, is it taking me up or is it taking me down? Second question from Noel makes a point that it's like tracking trades. It's good to track your limiting beliefs. Yeah, that's what they call a journal. It'll help you out. So, Mike, we've got about 2 minutes or so. So you mentioned in the intro this aspect of the pain, the pain of the conflict between our strategies and our mindset, or the pain of the never-ending losing spiral. What do you suggest for traders to get out of that? And then also, if you could, just tell us a little bit about the Trading Mind Decoder, and there'll be a link in the description about how to get that Trading Link Decoder that you've developed. And I took it and I found it very, very helpful. You fixed me, man.
So let's answer that first question. We're in this downward spiral. Well, what do we do? There's an old saying that if you find yourself stuck in a hole, the first thing that you have to do to get out is put down the shovel. So if you are on a losing streak and you find yourself just spiraling into this losing streak, the first thing that I would recommend doing is to stop trading momentarily. Take yourself out of there, change your environment. Changing your environment is the first thing that's going to change your mindset. It's almost like a reset.
Yeah.
Great. So you have this reset, then you're in a position where you're able to look at results objectively. And you can start to figure out, well, why am I even in this hole? How did I get there? Oh, what did I do to cause this hole, right? And so personal responsibility is a very important thing. So one of the great things about trading is that we are completely in charge of, we're going to enter here, we're going to exit there. Everything is because of us. The market will do what it's going to do, but we're the ones that decide when to enter. We're the ones that decide when to exit. We're the ones that decide how much. So by creating some distance, we're able to disassociate from that, where you might think that, and have some negative thoughts, perhaps, of, I'm this because of this trade. Well, when you create space between that, you're able to go and objectively look at those actions and then come up with a plan of, okay, what am I going to do to come up with a different way of trading or executing? Because if we keep on doing the same thing and expect a different result, then I think that was Einstein's definition of insanity. Right. Something else that Einstein said too was that given a problem to solve, he would spend the first 55 minutes coming up with the appropriate questions to ask, and the last 5 minutes answering those questions. Right on. So that's essentially what the Trading Mind Decoder is. Because, we could run around in circles trying to figure out, how do I defrag my mind to start trading better? I know that mindset is important, but how do I go about doing that? Well, questions are the answer. So the first thing that we need to do is ask ourselves the right set of questions, and that's what the Trading Mind Decoder is. It's we've curated 9 questions and exercises to walk you through what to ask yourself, in what order, answer those questions, ask questions of those answers, and then you'll be on a better path to figuring out, number one, well, what are your goals? Number 2, what are your beliefs? And then bridging that gap to get from where you are now to where it is that you want to be.
Right on. Cool. So
yeah, and so you've got a special link too, right? Marawealth.com.
I do. That special link is on. We'll go back to the slide on that. I'm going to share my screen again. That's to the special link to Mike's Trading Mind Decoder. So, folks,
it's completely free.
Awesome. And so, Mike, I'm not going to share my screen really quick here because I want to show you something that I think, I don't know, you've probably never seen one of these before, right? Let me see if you can see it. Can you see that? There we go. You see that?
Yeah, it looks like a hammer, but with 2 hammers on it.
It has 2 heads on it. And folks, today, and I'm trying to get that to focus in, and there we go, get it closer to me, is this was a gift and it is a reminder that you've been given the tools. This tool can be used for more efficiency by hammering side to side like this. But if you turn it around and do this way to hammer somebody else or hammer out your issue, as you swing down to hammer and swing back, you hit yourself in the head. So, which is not a very good way to use this tool. So just remember, the tool, you've been given some tools today. Use them in effective and efficient ways, and you will basically come out on the other side a much better trader.
That's a great analogy, and I've never seen anything like that before. That's awesome.
Well, we just needed to do more hanging out together, man. I'd show you all kinds of neat, cool stuff that I had when I was when I was flying, and that's one of them. Is my hammer. And it basically tells a story into its own. So, hey guys, that's it for today. I'm going to basically go real quick, and I want to say, Mike, thank you so much. I think definitely folks got their money's worth. Please, if you have any questions, you can email me, or again. Get with Mike on his website. I will put some links down in the video in the YouTube channel. And as we like to say, hey, 2023, let it be your year for breakthrough to consistent trading success. That's my focus for all of my members. I want them to basically be able to reach that place where they can say, I am a consistently successful trader. Mike, pass on my best to your lovely bride and Lily and Melissa. And thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. And as we like to say on the islands, aloha, trade well and prosper, mahalo, and God bless. Thank you, Michael.
All right. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody.